Hey everyone, this is Michelle Krause with KDP Ninja, and this training we are walking through creating and downloading a simple interior using BookBolt for your KDP low content books. And what you're going to want to do is open up Chrome. Now I'm on a Mac, so I'm not sure what the other um, browsers will do if you're on a Windows type of device. So I typically use Chrome as my standard browser. So what you're going to want to do here is go to BookBolt. So we're going to type in bookbolt.io/interior-wizard. And BookBolt is a product that their interiors are free right now to download, but the um, the magic in their software is with their creating book covers and being able to do research on keywords and other book listings and some other cool features that we'll cover in a future training. If you don't have a subscription to BookBolt, I do have a link for you. It's also listed in the files section in our Facebook group, but it's ecom-ninja.com/bookbolt. And if you purchase a subscription through BookBolt from that link, make sure that when you're checking out, use KDP Ninja as a coupon code. That for us and our group here, I've gotten you guys a 20% discount on that subscription. So they've got a monthly plan, a yearly plan, and a one-time lifetime access. And I personally think the benefit is in the one-time access. It's I'm in this for the long haul, and I use the BookBolt software to generate most, if not all, of my book covers, and so it's well worth it to me to just pay the one-time fee. I get access to all their updates and never pay again. So it's your call, and it's what your budget is, and what you want to put into this business. So let's go ahead and jump right into the training. So once we are on the BookBolt Interior Wizard page, you're going to want to find this little button that says Interior Wizard under this free KDP no content book interiors. So we're going to click on that. It pops up with this pop-up window here for you to pick the contents and dimensions of your interior. So the difference between no bleed and bleed just means that with no bleed, you have a wider white space margin on the left and the right. And bleed extends that out a little bit, so you have a little bit more real estate to work with on your interiors, especially if you're doing like a journal, which we're going to go through that training right now and create a journal. I want to have the lines, enough space from left to right margin that my customer will be able to use and not have it the lines narrowed. So I always select bleed. The next thing you want to do is select the dimensions of that book you want to use. So the typical dimensions of a journal is a 6x9. I have ventured and made a couple of books for the 8.5 by 11, but the majority of my books and what I'm designing are typically a 6 by 9, and that's pretty typical amongst the KDP community. But you have all these other options, and depending on which one you select, BookBolt will automatically generate that interior you selected and um, put it into a PDF form in that dimensions that you selected for your book. The only thing you want to make sure that you do is when you're creating your book cover, which I'm going to walk you through that in a separate video. You want to make sure that your book cover and your interior, you pick the same dimension. So you need to remember which interior size you've selected. We're going to go ahead and do a 6 by 9. Now you're going to want to enter in the number of pages that your interior is going to be. The minimum really should be around 120 pages. An interior of 120 pages gives your book enough girth and thickness so that your book title displays correctly without cutting off or being too small on the spine of the book. So we're going to go ahead and let's do 120 today. And as you move away from this pop-up window and scroll your mouse down, and then just scroll down the page, you'll see all of these different interiors that are available from BookBolt to download for free. You've got dot grid graph kind of paper. They've got a template to do comic books if you wanted to do that, a fishing log, other types of graph paper, a mileage log. They have a bunch of different interiors that you can use for your books. So I'm going to scroll back up. And one thing to think about is you'll notice that like this first page listed here on the left has this blue banner across the top. That's an indicator that that's the interior I've selected. If I click on the second one here, just to the right of that blank with page numbers, you'll notice right now behind here, the banner is gray. But once I click on that banner turns to blue, which means that indicates that you've selected, and that's the interior that's going to get downloaded. This is a college rule lined paper, and we're going to do a journal, which is the third one from the left. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and then come up and click on download. What BookBolt will do is it'll open up a new browser tab. I'm not exactly sure how that looks with Safari or Firefox, or even with Internet Explorer if you're on a Windows computer, because I'm on a Mac and I only use Chrome, hardly ever use Safari or Firefox. But the Chrome, it opens it up with this new tab, and if this dark gray banner or header up at the top does not display for you, if you just move your mouse up over to that area, it will automatically kind of expand for you. And over to the right of this, you'll see this is a rotate the page clockwise, which we don't want to rotate. This second button with an arrow with a line underneath it is the download button, which is what we're going to use. And the little icon that looks like a printer is the print button. We don't necessarily need to print these. We just need to download the interior. So I'm going to click on that little button, the arrow with the line underneath it. It'll open up your file manager, and this is where you're going to want to select your directory where you want to save this download, because you're going to want to know where to go pick this file up when we publish this on the KDP site. So we're going to go ahead and name this journal. Let's do a journal test 6x9. I know it said a 5x8, but we selected a 6x9. And what it'll do is it's already formatted or selected to download into a PDF, which is what you want. This needs to be in a PDF format. And when you download this, what BookBolt will do is take a look at it. Already identifies the size that you've selected, the dimension, which is the 6x9 that we selected here today, and automatically format it to what KDP is looking for. So it'll automatically have the correct margins, left and right, top and bottom. If you've selected bleed, it'll identify that across your interior pages. And it makes it pretty simple and pretty easy to do because they've done all the hard work. BookBolt has done all the hard work. So once we've named it, we've selected our folder that we want to download it to, go ahead and then click Save. And so now it's downloaded. And let's just verify that. I'm going to go into my Finders. And here's my, here's the file that I just downloaded. And as I click on it, I have view options on my Finder. So you'll see that here's the journal. This line up at the top is basically people would use that for a date, and then use this to write in maybe daily gratitudes, or maybe they want to use this as a diary, those kinds of things. There's a bunch of different niches that you can tap into using this basic journal type of paper. So once that's downloaded, then just make a note of where you've saved that so that you can go grab that when we're ready to publish your first book. And that, like I said, will be in a future training after this one. So that's all for this particular training, and I hope you got a ton of value out of it. And if you have any questions, let me know in the Facebook group, and we'll answer your questions and get you going. Thanks.